Health and fitness requires more than just the physical work. It starts with the work you put in to grow your mind. Welcome to the Mind Gains podcast, where we discuss what it takes mentally to see results physically. I'm your host, Jess. Let's get started. Hello, podcast family. I hope you guys are having a great start to your week so far. I definitely am. This week has been so good. I'm actually recording this on a Tuesday, which is the earliest in the week I think I've ever recorded an episode, but I ended up having extra time today, so I thought I might as well just get it done today, and then I'll be able to hopefully have a little bit more time to relax later this week, but we'll see. I'll probably just end up filling that time with something else. But anyways, it is Tuesday for me, meaning that today was a leg day, and your girl loves a leg day. It is my favorite day of the week. My two favorite days of the week, actually, Tuesdays and Fridays, because those are my lower body days, and I'm absolutely obsessed with them. They make me feel alive. Like, I don't even know how to describe it to you guys. I feel like you're either one or the other. Like, you either hate a leg day or you love a leg day. And I have honestly been on both sides of the spectrum there, but now currently I do love a leg day. They are so much harder in my opinion, and I love dying in my workouts. I love being pushed to the absolute limit, and there's just something about having your glutes, your hamstrings, your quads on fire that makes it a great day for me. But I will say that I'm already feeling really sore, and it's been only about 7 hours since I've worked out, so that's going to be fun. But regardless, hoping you are having a great start to your week so far. Let's get into the episode for today. We're going to be talking about time management and really more specifically how to steward your time really well. I think this is something that most of us struggle with, and I think there's a lot of excuses when it comes to time management. I think a lot of times it's not that we don't have enough time to do everything, it's that we just are really poor managers of our own time. And so I want us to learn how to be better at managing our time well. And I am definitely no expert. I definitely have a lot of room for improvement here, but I will say, especially over the past probably like year-ish, I at least feel like I've gotten a lot better with my time management skills. And I think it also kind of comes down to your priorities and making sure that you are placing value on things and kind of seeing where your priorities lie so that you can adequately assign time to all of your priorities every day. This is really, really important if you have any interest in making time for your health and for your wellness, because I mean, look around you. Like, most people are not prioritizing this because their excuse is that they probably don't have enough time or enough money or enough willpower, enough discipline. But again, you're going to make time for what's really important to you. So the fact of the matter is that everyone is busy. Everyone has a lot on their plate. And yes, there are some people that have it worse than others. There's definitely some people that are actually busier than other people. But regardless, I feel like everyone thinks that their situation is the worst. They have it the worst. We always have the focus on ourselves, and we only see our challenges and the barriers that we have. And then we throw a little pity party thinking that we are the only one in the world who has to deal with this situation. And there's just no way we could possibly get it all done. There are very few situations, very, very few situations where there is actually not enough time in the day to do something, even if it's something small, for your health, for your wellness, for your well-being, for making progress in your health and your fitness. So today we're going to talk about practical time management tools, and we're also going to throw in a biblical perspective on it as well, because I wanted to start tying in my faith more with this podcast. And at first I wasn't really sure how to do that, but the truth is that that is actually a big part of health and fitness. My faith for me personally is so closely integrated to everything that I do on a daily basis, not only for my own self and for the way that I treat my body and the way that I view my body, but also in my job, the way that I show up, the way that I speak to my clients, the way that I'm there for my clients. So it is so closely integrated. And so I want to start merging that into this podcast as well. So we are going to niche down a little bit more. Now we have health and fitness, but we also have faith as well. And we are going to start merging these two a little bit more. But if you are not a believer, that is more than okay. You can definitely still listen to this podcast. You can definitely still give it a watch. It's not going to change anything from the whole health and fitness and wellness part of this podcast. That is going to stay the same. I'm just also going to be tying in, again, biblical perspectives as well and what God says on everything that we talk about here. But if that is you, I do ask that if you are willing, that as you're listening, you would keep an open heart and an open mind and allow the possibility for the Holy Spirit to speak to you and minister to you through that, through these messages and through what we're doing here as well. All right, getting into this. So the reality of the whole time management dilemma is that we all have the ability to make it a priority. It does not matter what you have going on. It does not matter what your financial status is. It doesn't matter if you are single or married, if you're a parent or not. It does not matter your age. It doesn't matter your gender. It does not matter. We all have the ability to make this a priority in our lives. Now, obviously, that's going to look a little bit different person to person. Some people, again, depending on how much responsibility they have throughout the day, what they have going on, how much extra free time they have, they might be able to give more to their health and fitness. They might be able to go to the gym for 2 hours, 5 days a week, which is honestly so unnecessary, but you get what I'm saying. They might be able to consistently dedicate that time. They might be able to consistently dedicate 3 hours of meal prepping every Sunday, and they might be able to get in 20,000 steps a day because they have that much time. Now, on the other hand, if you are a parent, if you're a single parent and you're working a full-time job and you don't have anyone to help you watch the kids and you have all these extra things going on, you're driving them to extracurriculars after school, you're probably not going to have as much time as person A over here, but that is more than okay. It does not mean that you can't do something. There is no reason that you can't still make it a priority to do 3 20-minute at-home workouts a week. And there's no reason that you can't make it a priority to spend 30 minutes a week meal prepping. And there's no reason that you can't make it a priority to drink a gallon of water a day. Or, whatever is like feasible for you to start off. The water especially, this is the thing that gets me, is water takes no time out of your day to get in. We should really never, ever, ever be missing water. But that's just a little side tangent, to be honest. Anyways, again, between person A and person B, the amount of time that they can dedicate to all of this is definitely going to be very different, but they are still both giving what they can to it. The other thing when it comes to this is that it is a lot more about our priorities than it is about the time that we have in the day. If you sit here and you tell me that you don't have time to spend 30 minutes a week on a Sunday meal prepping so that you can make sure you hit your nutrition all week, but then you want to turn around and binge watch Love Island, let's be real. It's not that you didn't have time, it's that that was more important to you than being successful and taking steps in this journey. That was just one example. Honestly, I'm not going to go into any others because there are so many different examples of this. I don't even want to get into it, but if you are spending your time, your energy, your money into things that don't actually benefit you overall and in the long run, but then you say that you don't have time to get to the gym or you don't have time to cook instead of ordering takeout, it's your priorities. It's not the time that you have in the day. Because I promise you, you can cook a Whole Foods meal in 10 to 15 minutes. I do it all the time. You're not going to tell me that you can't do it. You're not going to tell me that you don't at some point spend 10 minutes scrolling on your phone doing absolutely nothing of real value. If you can honestly look at me and say, from the moment your eyes open in the morning, you are up out of bed, you are moving, you are constantly going, you don't ever want to sit down, you don't ever look at your phone, you don't ever look at social media for 10 minutes or more, from the time that you wake up to the time that you close your eyes at night, you might be the one-off situation, but very few of us are actually in that position. And I am 100% calling myself out here because I waste time. 100%. I waste time. I don't mean to. To be honest, I would say I think I'm a lot more careful about doom scrolling and about being on social media for absolutely zero reason than most people are. To be honest, I don't even really like being on my phone that much. So I don't spend a crazy amount of time just, again, on my phone for no reason at all. But there's definitely still things that I do. And there's definitely still times that I am wasting time. I'm not always packing every single minute of my day with productivity. But if you are someone who is saying that you want to prioritize your health, your fitness, you want to prioritize getting to the gym, but you just don't have time, we should probably look into that a little bit deeper. And this is where we're going to tie in what God says about managing your time well. I'm turning to Ephesians 5:15 through 16. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Actually, let me go to 17 as well. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. Okay, so obviously, it's not that our days are evil, but what he's saying by this is that it is very easy to get distracted. It is very easy to waste our time here on earth, to waste our opportunities, to waste every day with just meaningless distractions. And if you think about it, it's done on purpose. The distractions are put there a lot of times, I'm not saying all the time, but a lot of times it's put there by the enemy. Because if we can stay distracted, we're not doing anything for the kingdom of God. If we can stay distracted and never do what the Lord is calling us to do, we're never making any advancements. And we're also probably not strengthening our relationship with God. He is warning us to be very careful about the way that we live and the way that we manage our time, that we should be good stewards of the time that He has blessed us with on earth, making the most of every opportunity. Do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. So understand what He wants out of every day for you. Understand what He wants out of your life for you. God calls us to be very intentional with our time, which again is part of being a good steward with the things that He has blessed us with. Because I hate to tell you, we do not deserve any time here on earth. This is a gift that He has blessed us with, that He wants us to live in and fully enjoy. But anything that He gifts to us, He expects us to be a good steward of. He places us in positions of authority over so many different things, but in this case, over our time and what we do with our time and what opportunities we take a hold of with our time. And at some point, we're going to have to give an account to Him of what we did with the things that He gave us. It's talked about somewhere else in the Bible. To be honest, I can't remember right off the top of my head. I believe it's somewhere in the Gospels, because it was when Jesus was speaking to people during His time on earth about essentially if a master puts one of his slaves in charge of all the other slaves in the household and over all of his possessions, and he leaves for a good amount of time, when he comes back, that master is going to expect an account from the slave that he put in charge of everyone and everything else. He is going to expect an account from him of what he did with all of that. And if he mistreated the other slaves, if he mistreated his master's possessions, he's going to have to give an account to that. He's going to be held responsible for what he did or did not do with the things that he was given. So same thing works here. He is calling us to be good stewards of our time, and He calls us to take care of ourselves. He calls us to take care of the bodies that He has given us, because it is a dwelling place for His Spirit. Our bodies are the Lord's temple because He resides in us. So we're called to take good care of ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, so that we can then go out and do the good works for which He has planned for us. It all ties in together. So now we know that we all have the ability to make a little bit of time in our day to take care of ourselves. We know how this fits in spiritually as well. Let's talk about maybe some practical tips you could try implementing if this is something you're struggling with. Number one, it feels like the most obvious thing, but I am shocked at the amount of adults that do not own a planner. I know we're not all naturally planners. Some of us are very spontaneous, go with the flow. We don't plan anything, we just kind of wing it. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, if you want to manage your time really well and make sure you are doing your best to steward your time and keep track of everything, like you have to have a planner. Even if you're not a natural planner, I don't understand how people can keep track of like the meetings that they have for work or otherwise, or what appointments they have, or I don't know, just little tasks that they have to get done. I genuinely do not understand it. I will never understand it. Regardless, that's not what this is about. If you care to manage your time well, whether you are a planner or not, you have to own a planner, and then you have to actually use it. Because buying a planner and then letting it sit there on your desk and never ever using it is not going to do anyone any good. So it doesn't really matter if it's a digital planner. It could be like a Google Calendar or something, or you could do a physical planner as well. I personally have 3 different planners. Really, I only use 2 of them on a daily basis. I do have a physical planner, which is like my absolute go-to. I am very much like a pen to paper kind of person, and that just works best for me. But I do also keep a Google Calendar as well on my phone. I like having both for different reasons, because with my Google Calendar, I can set reminders, I can set like tasks that I have to do, and I'm going to get an actual notification on my phone. It helps me to remember certain things like that. Whereas my physical planner, I actually have one that shows a time log from like 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. And so it helps me to write out my entire day that way and like what I have going on, my appointments and all of that, just so I can like manage my time better. But then it also includes a little area for like a to-do list, which I definitely need as well. I am a to-do list kind of person. Every day I need to see up front what needs to get done today, and then I need to start checking things off. But regardless, whatever works best for you, just make sure that you are consistent in doing it. Because again, if it sits there, you're not ever using it, it's not doing you any good. And then the next thing you want to do is set non-negotiable appointments with yourself. If you struggle to get to the gym, you are going to have to set up your time for the gym in your calendar as if it is a non-movable meeting, because it gets really easy in the moment when you plan to go to the gym before work in the morning. It gets really easy to decide not to do that because you just don't feel like doing it. But if you think about it the same way you would think about you are meeting your boss that day, you're meeting your manager, let's just say, or the CEO of your company, are you going to text them at whatever time you have that meeting and say, sorry, I can't show up? You're probably not going to do that. So you have to treat these non-negotiable things as non-negotiable. You have to treat them as if they're meetings that you absolutely cannot move. Otherwise, you will get fired. Like, it has to be that level of urgency and of importance. But the problem is that most people do not treat their health as if it's that important, which I hate to tell you, it's actually more important than your job. Because you could always go and get another job, and money is going to come and go, and you can always find another way to make a living, but you have to take care of your health. Things are going to start going downhill really quickly if you don't. And then the problem is most people don't, but then they turn around and blame it on the fact that they're getting older. When in reality, if you just took care of yourself 99% of the time, the issues and the ailments and the chronic diseases that you have, the medications you're on, it could all be cured if you had just taken care of yourself. So I'm going to say it with my chest. It is more important that you treat your time, whatever that means, taking care of yourself, whether it's time in the gym, meal prepping, whatever it's going to be, time to, decompress and make sure that you're handling stress really well. That is actually more important than your meeting with your manager. So I'll just leave that there. Something that I found has really, really helped me personally and a lot of people that I work with, because I pretty much make it non-negotiable. If you don't have a planner, you need to get a planner, and then we need to start time blocking. I have no problems if you are showing up the way that you need to consistently every week, but if you are not and you don't own a planner and you don't time block your day, that's where we have some issues. Because at this point, you're not doing everything you can to try to make sure that you are getting it all done. The things that you have promised yourself that you would do. You want to time block your day. If you're not familiar with this is, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is sitting down before the day starts. I personally do mine the night before. You want to literally block off the sections of your planner, that little area where I mentioned that it shows like, 5 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night, whatever yours says. You want to block off actual segments of your day for whatever your priorities are. For example, I'll just give you an idea of what mine typically looks like. On a work day, I'm usually getting up anywhere between 5 to 6 in the morning, just depending on the day. So obviously, I'm planning it out the night before. I'll put, whatever time I plan to wake up, I will literally write out wake up at 5 or 6 or whatever time it's going to be. I will block out, okay, this is my Bible time. This is my time that I'm spending with the Lord in the morning. After that, I'm spending this chunk of time getting ready. This chunk of time I am heading out to the gym and getting to the gym, getting my workout done, getting back home. After that, here's breakfast. Here is walking the dogs if I need to walk the dogs. Here is doing laundry, cleaning up the house. Here's my meeting that I have every week on, Mondays at 11 a.m. That's non-negotiable, have to show up to that. And here's my work chunk down here, and so on and so forth for the entire day. And that is what helps me to be able to stay on track and tackle my day instead of allowing my day to tackle me and feeling like I am just holding on to the back of a speedboat that's going like 100 miles an hour. And the wind is just like in my face and I'm like barely holding on. I'm losing my grip and the day is just attacking me. I attack my day. We start checking things off the list. We make sure that we are staying on top of schedule. Everything that is a priority is in that planner, and there is a time for everything. And to be honest, there are days that things don't go to plan because this is life and that's going to happen. There are definitely going to be days where you can have the perfect plan laid out, but the day is just going to crap and nothing is working out the way you wanted it to. Everything is taking way longer. Maybe your car broke down or you couldn't get to work on time for whatever reason. Your son got sick. You had to pick him up from school, bring him home. Like there's always going to be unforeseen circumstances, but the difference between having a plan of action ahead of time is that even if those situations do come up, instead of freaking out, you can take a deep breath, look at your schedule and say, okay, this thing that is a priority this week, I can move it to tomorrow or the next day. I can work it in this way. I can, instead of going to the gym today, I can do a 15-hit workout at home, make something work, and we will find a way to take a step to the side from the roadblock that we've encountered and continue moving forward rather than coming to the roadblock, staying stuck and saying, oh my gosh, there's nothing I can do, and then playing victim and then having a little pity party for ourselves saying there was nothing I could do in this situation when in reality, there were probably a million things you could have done even though it wasn't perfect, yet you decided to not plan ahead. You decided to stay stuck and not have a backup plan in case the unforeseen does happen, which it's going to happen sometimes. That is the difference between having a plan and winging it. And again, if you can totally wing things and you still make time for everything and you are having no problems, that's totally fine. But the fact of the matter is if that is you, you are most likely in either a season of just slowness, like there is not a lot going on right now, but that could very quickly and very easily change. So either you just don't have a lot of priorities, like health and fitness is like your one and only thing and that's your life and cool, whatever, that's great. Or you are probably 23, 24 years old or younger, and you have not really had time to get out in the real world, work a full-time job, have extra responsibilities, all these things. You might potentially just be in college. Even if you are going to college full-time, you are still working a part-time job. You are still, kind of doing other things on top of that. It is really likely that if this is you, you're probably in one of those situations. And at some point, things could very quickly change. And you don't want to try to figure out the skill of time management because it is a skill. You don't want to have to try to figure that out when life is crazy and chaotic and it's already overwhelming. You want to figure that out when things are slow and it's easier to figure that out. You want to practice it now because, again, it's a skill to be learned and you're not going to be great at it until you put the time and the effort in to learn it and get it down. So the biggest piece of advice I could give you for time management, along with owning a planner, is the time blocking method. It allows you to define blocks of your day as far as your work time, your me time, your family time, other responsibilities, rest, all the things. And it honestly takes a lot of the decision fatigue out because, again, you have a plan in place ahead of time. You already know, if all goes to plan, what the day is going to look like. And we don't have to feel as much stress from having it all just jumbled in our head, all the million things that we have to do for the day. And the way that you would go about actually time blocking, you want to start off with the big priorities or the big chunks of your day. So again, usually that's going to include your job. For most people, their job, the times that they're working is non-negotiable. It is not movable. A lot of people just on average are working, between 8 to 5, 8 to 6, 9 to 6, whatever it is. So if that is you and you have a set time that you are working, you would obviously fill that in first and then look at your day along with your other priorities, your other responsibilities, and start filling in things from there. If you're in a position where you have a very flexible schedule, great. If you want to still plan your day around a very consistent work schedule, that's fine. Personally, that's what I do. I came from a corporate job before I was coaching, and I like having a very consistent schedule. Obviously, there's times that I do take advantage of the flexibility and I do change around the times that I'm working, but 9 times out of 10, I'm still working pretty close to the same hours that I would be in a corporate job. I do kind of maintain a consistent work schedule throughout the week, but that's just because that's what I like. Some people want to work mornings one day. Some people want to work evenings the other day. Some people, if you're a mom, you want to have the mornings with your kids or whatever, and you can kind of work that out to best suit you. But regardless, start with your work schedule and then again, fill in the rest of your day with everything else you have going on. Usually outside of work, big things, again, are usually family time, faith time, Bible time, whatever you want to call it. If you're like me, your health, again, making sure you're getting to the gym, doing what you need to take care of yourself. And then after those big blocks are set up, that's when you would kind of fill out the smaller to-dos for the day. Maybe things that you could potentially do on a different day. They're still a priority, but they don't absolutely have to be done today. You could move them to tomorrow or the next day. One of my favorite quotes when it comes to time management is that if everything is a priority, then nothing is. And I really struggled with this for a long time because I would get so obsessed with trying to do everything because everything did feel like it was a priority. And there are a lot of things that are definitely a priority to me, and I do place a lot of value on them. But when you really get down to it, you have to be a little bit stricter on what is most important to you. I would actually recommend that you would list out everything that you would like to do on a daily or on a weekly basis, and then start assigning value to them by numbers. That is what kind of helped me to be able to see, okay, these are the things that are most important to me that I absolutely have to get done on a daily basis or a weekly basis, or, just dependent on whatever it is. And then it would help me to see maybe the things that aren't quite as big of a priority as I initially thought they were. And I also just want to say that we should be really careful of perfection paralysis. I am a huge victim of perfection paralysis. If I don't know that whatever I'm starting is going to be done perfectly, that I am giving it my 100% and it's going to come out exactly the way I want it to, I tend to just not do it, not start doing it, not try doing it. But when it comes to health and fitness, that cannot be a thing because you're never, ever going to start off perfect. You're never going to end up perfect, let alone start perfect. It's going to be really messy, especially when it comes to time management. Again, learning the skill because it is a skill. You might spend a few months time blocking, setting everything up perfectly, and yet you still don't follow the plan. But you need to keep doing it. And you need to continue practicing and continue taking action to try to manage your time really well every day, even if it's not perfect. Maybe you do follow the plan to 80% accuracy, but then you find yourself doom scrolling at the end of the night, which you promised yourself you would not do. It's really easy to get discouraged in the moment and just give it all up and then the next day not follow the plan at all. But that is going to help no one. It's not going to progress you. It's not going to help you manage your time better. It's only going to waste more time. So do not allow the fact that you're not going to be perfect at it to stop you from trying it every day. I also want you to build in rest. Rest is not lazy. Rest is biblical. I know we just spoke about this a few weeks ago, I think, about the value of rest and how important it is, but it is so dang important. If you are constantly going, you are setting yourself back, actually. You're not helping yourself. It is spoken about time and time and time and time and time again in the Bible that we need to rest. God rested. If the God of this universe rested, we sure as heck need to rest, like a lot more often than he does, to be honest. So this does not mean that every single day you need to be constantly going and there cannot be a second of downtime, because that's not what I mean. If you are staying on top of everything the way that you have committed yourself to and the way you want to, you need to schedule and rest. I'm just talking about the fact that a lot of people will sit there and say that they don't have time to make any of this a priority. But if we really get down to it, if we pull out the magnifying glass, we can see that there's probably lots of wasted time. And again, this is not everyone. This is not a blanket statement. I do not mean this to be every single person on planet Earth. I do not mean this to be everyone but me, because again, I am very guilty of doing this a lot. But in general, we tend to just find little time wasters in the day. And I actually just thought of this, but there is a law. I don't remember what it's called. Probably should look it up. But there's a law out there that says something like you will take as much time on a task as you allow yourself to. Essentially meaning if you allow yourself a certain task, whatever it is, you allow yourself 30 minutes to do it. Let's say it's a work task. I don't know. You will take 30 minutes to do that task. But if you allow yourself 2 hours, you will take 2 hours. You will take the full 2 hours that you are allowing yourself to do that same task that could have taken you 30 minutes. There are some exceptions to this. Some things do actually take longer than 30 minutes. But overall, I know that I can see it in myself with a lot of things that I do. If I give myself 10 minutes to shower, I will definitely get done in 10 minutes. If I am in a rush, I gotta be out the door, I am running late, and I have 10 minutes to shower, I will definitely be done with my shower in 10 minutes. Other than that, if I give myself longer, if I give myself 30 minutes, I will take the full 30 minutes. So it is actually pretty accurate. I encourage you to try this out with something this week and kind of see if this applies to you, because I can pretty much guarantee it does with most things. But that was just kind of like an extra add in. I literally just thought of that. I know this also works the same way with me in the gym. If I have 45 minutes to get my workout done, I'm going to get my workout done in 45 minutes. But if I have nothing going on all day and I want to take 2 hours doing the same exact workout, I'll take 2 hours. So sometimes it is also just about, again, going back to time blocking things and making sure that you're staying on top of that. You know ahead of time that you're giving yourself this set amount of time to get ready in the morning so that you can get to the gym on time, so you can get back home on time to start work on time. You're going to do that. You're going to get ready in that amount of time. And I want to tie back into the biblical perspective again really quickly. Again, productivity isn't just about go, go, go all the time. It is also about making sure that we are really managing our time well so that we can align our schedule with God's purposes. Learning to manage our time well is not just an earthly benefit. We are called to learn how to do this. We are called to be good managers of our time, regardless of whatever we have going on. Health and fitness isn't just like a fun little cute thing to do. We are actually commanded to steward our bodies well. It's actually not even really optional. We are commanded to steward our bodies well. And what that means is taking care of your health, your wellness, again, making time to get some exercise in, some physical activity, even if it's not going to the gym, making time to eat whole foods, which is it's not actually making time at all. It's just you going to the grocery store, or if you're ordering DoorDash, you can get some groceries DoorDashed to your door. Eat more whole foods, take care of your body, get some exercise in, sleep a little bit more than you probably are, drink your water. You're called to steward your body well. But again, you won't always be perfect. Invite God into your schedule and pray over your plans. Ask Him to show you what it is He wants you to accomplish that day. Ask Him what it means to steward your time well that day, and then ask Him to reveal the areas that are big time wasters, the things in your life that are not serving you and are not honoring Him. And then allow Him to come in and help you remove those things that you're spending your time on that maybe don't progress you in the way you want to, and replace them with things that are actually beneficial to you. That is all I have for you today. I hope that this week you are able to implement at least one of these things that we spoke about today. Again, if you do not own a planner, please, please, please go buy a stinking planner. You can find them for super cheap. It does not have to be a $50 planner. Like, it does not have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be anything insane. Like, just go and get yourself a dang planner and start planning your day out a little bit more if you are struggling to stay productive and if you are struggling to manage your time well. I would ask that you would share this episode with someone that you know may benefit from it, someone that you know maybe is struggling with time management and could learn something useful from this episode. Otherwise, thank you so much for your support in just listening to this episode. I hope and I pray that you have a great week, and we'll talk next time.